Hey guys, hopefully you're having a great day today. Big Bear AI stock is one of the stocks we've been following very closely because it's linked to basically every single part of the government. We can see it's linked to the Department of Defense, the Secretary of State, Secretary of Defense. They're an army. They got some contracts related to border patrol and border security, homeland security. So let's take a look at the stock. We've covered it quite a bit. It recently just broke below a level that we have mapped out. We've seen it come from about under $2 to spiking to $10 a share. And if we just take a look at what some of our analysis has looked like in the past, we had played out this trend right here. You could see this is a trend that's kind of happened, and it's kind of at that level. Possibly a bounce. More likely we'll sell off, but we'll see what happens. It has bounced already today a little bit right there, which is interesting. But just to kind of look at what we've seen in the past, we also played this level here, and then it broke out, retested this resistance. So oftentimes previous resistance will act as a support. The 200-day moving average will oftentimes act as a support or a resistance as well. And we could see that it was bullish. It started to trigger this hyper-bullish trend that you could see start to happen right here. And we basically said a couple weeks ago, like I could roll the clip actually, and you guys can tell me what you think. Here's the clip. From $3.70 essentially right here, starting to create this new trend. And I can delete these, you can kind of see. And what we have going on here is basically a clear new development of a hyper bullish trend. Now, at the current support, it's more likely, if you look at the overextension, it looks like it's more likely that it's going to sell off here. And it might sell off down to some levels in this range of $6.50. That's a support. So as you can see, this is kind of the same deal. So we did see it sell off. This hyper bull trend didn't hold. Started to sell off. Now this 200-day moving average acting as a resistance. You can see it got rejected here, got rejected here. Kind of got pushed up a second there, but then got rejected. And now it's been getting rejected. Couple things to consider. We said, hey, this $6.50 range is kind of key. It sold back down to that 650 range and it was bouncing, but today it just couldn't hold that level. We saw it sell off down to basically 92. Is that right? 593. And now it's broken that support. It's starting to look a little more on the bearish side, especially if you just kind of take a look at this trend. See that support? So possibly a little bit of a recovery, but it will most likely be a pullback. You can see some of this sell off. So this is something I could imagine happen. It gets all the way back down to this level. Maybe it's not quite as much. Maybe it gets down to $5.30. But it's not just the stock. It's also a greater energy being pulled down from the wider spread market. And so we have our long-term positions at $2.80 for Big Bear that we got back in November. You guys could go see some of those videos if you'd like. Or I think it was mid-December that we had that video actually. And then you can see that as it's improved, as it's gone back up, it started to sell back down. And now we're seeing it in this level of, hey, is it going to hold this level? The next level it would get rejected at would probably be somewhere around here, this $5.20 range. We'll see. It got down to $5.93, but yeah, really looking bearish, and that's what we could see. So when it comes to the market that they're in, it's expected to grow. They're in homeland security. They're in facial recognition and defense for the U.S. government. You can also see that Big Bear AI, if we just take a look at their financials, the only thing that was a little concerning, which we'll have to see in their upcoming earnings, but they had basically net income pretty negative, and it was a little more negative just recently. So you could see it was negative 21 million, negative 125, negative 11, negative 12 this past quarter three. As you start to see this recovery that potentially could happen, year over year revenue increased 22%, still at 41 million. So they have a chance to possibly break out with their financials. It's not a huge deficit on their negative net income. And the other fact when it comes to Big Bear and what we know that they have some partnerships that are related to some of the most crucial parts of the U.S. government. They're in digital identity. I'm going to Denver International Airport next month, and I'm expecting to see the Big Bear facial recognition, so I can just get scanned and basically walk through. You can see here they're in national security, and some of their partnerships are very, very close with the U.S. government. They have this software called Observe that captures and distills millions of data points into organized sets of information, forming coherent and continuously updated view of the situations that matter to you anywhere on the globe. So this could be facilities, location, news, events, social media, public communications, internet services, and more. You'd see some of their recent articles. Nothing really big since that $165 million contract over the course of, I think it was 5 years. Is it 5 years? Yeah, 5 years, $165 million that they're expected to make from this Army contract that they're starting. And basically, this is going to provide critical authoritative force management data that enables the Army to properly train, man, equip, and resource our forces, apparently. So we'll see how that plays into, it also has a phase 1 and phase 2 in its development and transition of GFIM-OE capabilities to production. So there's some more details on the nitty gritty of it. Just know they're working with Army to help them process large amounts of data to essentially make better decisions when they are in the battlefields. Okay, so as you can see, they haven't had a big contract since that $165 million contract. They have this one point of sale with Soft Points. It's facial recognition for matching technology and payment transactions. One of the things to consider with this is that this company is, SoftPoint does not have very good financials. According to one of my sources, Gene Inger did some deep dive research and said SoftPoint is not a company that is making a lot of money. And there could be, yeah, we could see if this is a good partnership, but at the same time, there's no contract price that's been put on this. This just seems like an article that's announcing somewhat of a partnership. So we'll see what happens. There's some really good articles that they've come out with. They also have some big institutional investors, I believe. Big Bear, let's see, institutional ownership. Let's take a look at what companies own Big Bear AI. So this is kind of into the deeper news. Do we have any, let's see, Bank of Canada, maybe? What else we got? You got BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, Morgan Stanley. And one thing to note is their purchase price. Goldman Sachs was purchase price. You could see kind of where they get in and their change percentages and what have you. And you could see how much they've made, how much, what their dates are for these reports. And a lot of them, I would say, are not up tremendously. They're up a little bit and potentially would indicate that they would be holding the stock longer. We'll see, because there has been some big sell-offs recently, as you can see. Possibly some of the institutions maybe sizing down a little bit. Nevertheless, that would drive liquidity sweeps, hit some stop losses, possibly obtain more shares for the bigger banks. So something to consider is, when there's red on the scoreboard for the markets, oftentimes those act as buying opportunities. So that's why we want to watch this closely. We kind of mapped out a trend, that previous resistance that it could bounce at. And so we'll be watching it here very closely to see if any opportunities present themselves at market open on Tuesday. If you guys would like to join us live, Stockmate is the second link in the description where we go live. You can see our entries, our exits, and then also get access to our weekly reports. We got some earnings coming out today, some price targets for all these stocks, and you can go into them and see what companies are reporting, what companies we want to keep a close eye on throughout the week, and then also make sure that you're up to date with taxes, wash trading, that you're trading smart. And if we go back a little bit and we get into outside of our live sessions we have each morning at Market Open, we also have a book here, which is The Profitable Trader. I encourage all stockmates to go through it. It's about 11 chapters, but fairly small read, just about 47 pages in total. But if you want to learn the ordinary versus the profitable, the 5% versus the 95% of traders that make money in the markets, this is an ebook that I put together without ChatGPT, and you can get some good tips on how to learn. How do you learn? What are the best ways to learn? And examples of trading plans. How do you build them and go into a trade without guessing? So take the guessing out of your trading and join us in StockMate at Market Open tomorrow. It's that second link down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate y'all. If you're looking at Big Bear AI right now, I want to know what you guys think. Are you potentially buying right now? I would wait a little bit. This doesn't seem like indication of a reversal just yet, but I want to know what you guys think, what you're seeing Big Bear AI as in this kind of late to getting into earnings season for them, seeing what that looks like, how you would expect them to perform would be valuable for not just me, but everybody else in the comment section. So thank you guys so much. If I earned your thumbs up, hit that like button. Do consider subscribing. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.